Welcome. It is the last video of the year, or the first video of the year, depending on class full, class empty, what kind of a person you are. It is the album of the year, or as I like to call them, the most appreciated albums or most appreciated of 2025, because let's face it, there is so much music, especially in this sepulcher, to pick one is a bit mental. So there will be signs towards the end when you hear me speak more eloquently, I guess, about eloquently in my version of eloquently, to hint you what will be my favorite or will be my favorites of the year. Like last year, I'm going to do kind of similar thing, the not album of the year. This year was a bit different in the sense that I showed the more older or better finds, I guess, of the year. This time we'll do the same for as last year. We'll start with some zines and books, because it becomes apparently to me that these things are the conduits or the main lines for information about some of this stuff that you won't find online anymore. I think there was a conscious move to get some information off of the digital era and into more the underground or zines and books, whatever you want. So a bit more paper knowledge or the paperworks. Then we go into some, compilations and live stuff, and I guess more records that are older but new for this year, with some surprises here and there. And then we'll do roughly 25 tapes and roughly 25 records. So you will be here for a long time. It is still morning, so we're having coffee. Please graduate with me into some more appropriate drinking here. We'll see where we get, because this is going to be a marathon. We are listening to the Somnambule. The spirits are real and they will possess you. After 3 demos and 1 longer ambient track released on tape, there is now the, I guess, full length of dark ambient from the Feral Heart Camp. In between the zines and these guys, I will do my runner-up list, not on physical form, because that is very important too. That's all, so roughly 30, so you know what you're in for. Yeah, that's it for the intro. I'll see you in part 2. Okay, let's go. The zines and the books. I didn't grab too much because, the bookcase, I installed a mini library over there, and it's already full, so I have to pick and choose what to get, because I want to keep everything in this room, which is not that big. But yeah, managed to grab a few things. First thing is, around the summer, Bandkaker 3 came out, Bandkaker magazine. Very weird choice of format, but it works. Kind of gets lost within the books, but what the hell. Bandkaker Records, Metal for Demons. They held one of my favorite festivals this year, and they will do it again next year. I heard winds of the first name, which will be something. That's all I can say, that's all I know, and I don't even know that. In this issue was an introduction, of course, Inverted Pentagram from Holland, Witchcraft, Circle of Ouroboros, and Faceless Entity, so a lot of Dutch stuff. Yeah. Contributors Dimitri Schuurman at the Bandkaker, and then all rights reserved. No part of this publication may be reproduced without permission from the publisher, Satan himself. The Inverted Pentagram was, enlightenment in reading form. The very old band. There is one very cool picture that I'm missing now. Or was that in a different zine? Yeah, I think so. The one where he's staring at a wall. I love that picture. Oh no, there it is. The Underground wall. At some rural farm here and there. So yeah, I really enjoyed this one. This is a good mix of new and old. That's the way I kind of like it. I've shouted out this before. I'm still looking for one. Never seen any or heard any rumors of it. But this is Tendency Issue 2, Notes on Black Metal and Other Remnants of the Underground. Akitsa Alexandra Affelon, I still don't know what it is. Mistletoe, Old One Gash, and Moon Boy. So yeah, a lot of Feral Heart, a lot of music I'm actually interested in. It is a good mix between black metal, punk, stomp, whatever you want to call it these days. Yeah, there's something on Skinheads. But like I said before, if you start reading, it's, the guy who is doing the interviews is thinking along and is talking along which are my favorite interviews. Not just question, answer, question, answer. There's the Sonambule, one of the demos, I think the first one, on Feral Heart. So that's in there. There's just a ton of information. Rampart I see in here, Horrible Room is in here, you know, all the good shit. Blood and Crescent, Bit of Woman. If you can get your hands on it, I'm not sure if it's still available anywhere, but you know, this is one of the best scenes going at the moment. The best scene going at the moment is this one. There we go. Arcane Archivist, and this is issue 7 already. It took a while between, I think, 6 and 7. I don't know why, just because it's a daunting task writing and compiling a zine. Every zine you read from the 90s, and there will be an example. It's always, it took me so long, and it's, you know, you're working with artists that don't want to be interviewed, so it's, like I said, a daunting task to get this done. This has Ancient the Grim Years, Antaios, Profanatica, Solstafir, Svartsin, which made a banger of an album, Svartidauri, Varfulogi, I don't know them, Odium, Negurman, something like that, Nuit Noir, Bereft Raven, Bergtat, and more, filled to the brim. This was, or came in a care package from Shiver himself. Still very thankful. Here he is, resting from all the hard work. There you go. Yeah, they even upped the ante on how it feels. It's like I said in that first review, quote unquote, it feels sexual or sensual. It's really nicely done. Here's the Svartsen. You know, it looks just like it would have come out in the 90s. Nuit Noir is in here, like I said, Bergtat, which is an interesting thing. Some Russians, I guess. Yeah, it's chock-full. Something on 7 inches. Knocking an interview with the French Maniacs from Antioch. It's a very nice zine. There we go. This limited, yeah, 500. Then, these guys, this is on Cult Never Dies, but more importantly, this is on, I always forget the label, or the book press. God damn it, why do I always do this? Yeah, this one, Metatarsis, I think it's called. This is Arma Christi, yes, Christi, black metal apparel from the 20th century. Incredible cover, incredible back cover. It's all scarred in his skin. What this is a beautiful manuscript or tomb of all, yeah, the first page. There we go. All 90s. A lot of Norwegian to begin with, but yeah, still Norwegian. Here you go. Something else. Still Norwegian. But you get the drift. It's from Venom, Typhoon, there's everything is in here. Graveland, Infernum, very, very nice. Reads like a dictionary of what the best shirts were from all these things. Brilliantly released in a very good book. I'm gonna put down the thing into it. It's growing. Very good records. Yeah. Headphone record, I guess. From the same Metatarsis is this one, No Contact, the for now last in this round. This is No Contact number 3. Open book or open back. Satanist approved. I love this. And this is basically a zine, but it's like Zombie Dancing and all the others that are doing zines these days, or some of them. This is just graphic art done to a T. Has a bunch of art mixed with interviews, mixed with all flyers. There's something about that satanic little booklet they did, or the calendar, some logo work. Very incredible stuff. There we go. This is maybe the best flip 2 I've ever done. There we go. It has everything. The best thing in here is when this was announced, it said there would be a summoning interview. So I was, you know, glad that something finally was coming out about them, but it's all in, you know, Elfish language or Tolkien languages. So yeah, there's like 5 pages of, I don't know, maybe I'll put a translate app on them, but yeah, great old stuff. There you go. Very cool books. Not zines, but books actually. This I have 2 and 3. I'm still looking for one, but it's unfindable. Then, nogma Evangelium Diaboli and Ajna. That's this thing. This is the I guess the definitive book on Timo Ketola, his artwork, his writings, his zine work. This is a bit hard to flip through, but let's see. The man himself, of course. Beautiful picture. He had a life. I mean, if you start looking where he went, what he did, the bands he worked for, was in, it's insane. I love this thing, the envelope with the dog on there. Very cool. Like I said, it starts with his zine work and then it goes into Funeral Mist. This is the zine, Dautus. Desval Omega. The list goes on and on. He worked with so many bands, and every band he is into, it feels like he's the 5th, the 4th, the 3rd member, however members there are. But yeah, this is a very cool, very heavy book. Quote on the back, it's all very nicely done. I hope they repress this for people who are still looking for a copy, because that was an unexpected sold out, I guess. Then one that I'm reading now that came to me through Ralph, a buddy of mine. We ordered together, so I didn't know when it would come in, but it's here. It is the Far Beyond the Light, The Life, Death and Legacy of John Northfate and Dissection by S. Montléon, I guess. It is a smaller book, if you can see this. I expected it a bit bigger, but it's actually more reading material than picture material. It's all reading. The cool thing about this is it starts backwards. It goes from chapter 11, I think, and then works back. I'm curious to see where it goes. There is a small picture section in the back. There is one very nice picture of him, which I love. This one. Very well. It is, like I said, smaller. It is a very expensive book for what it is. I don't know if it needed the spot gloss. I don't know if that makes it, that expensive, but it's a very pricey book for what it is. It's sold out, second pressing. It's already coming, so I'm wrong, I guess, on that one. And then the last one, and this is from Cult Never Dies, and this is the zine I was talking about, the one that is hard to put together or to keep going. The Petrified Under the Full Moon, so the Full Moon label that did the Petrified Scene, or vice versa, Petrified Scene that became Full Moon Productions. This is a compilation of the first 4, I guess, and then one extra zine that he did. But yeah, this is early on. I mean, he is asking about the church burnings as if they happened yesterday, and they happened yesterday. It's early 90s. It is chock full. The only thing that I mean, it's like he invents interviewing these bands, because it's basically always the same. It's like a band profile, but it gets better. I mean, he's finding his footing. You can just read how he's finding his footing, like a Torrance editorial, Emperor, all very early stuff. What was I saying? You can find him finding himself doing the interviews, and they become more and more. It's not just profiles, it's better interviews, or real interviews. Real insight into the very early days, not just Norway, but from all over the place. Gravelands, Catatonia, Nuclear Infernal Darkness of Lord of Evil, which I really like this picture. So yeah, this one is a recommendation for sure if you want to learn more about earlier black metal, the way it started, the way the countries linked up and stuff like that. Because I think it was the Based Hooligan podcast where they were wondering how bands from that age or that era knew stuff in Singapore, I guess. But if you look at the map from Euronymous, Singapore is clearly marked, and I think in one of the documentaries they even say that they were in touch with people from Singapore. So it's weird how pre-internet there was this worldwide network with everything. There's one big center, I guess, for that, but it's just a global phenomenon, very underground, very hush-hush and secret. still, that's why these zines are so important, I guess. But who am I telling? Preaching to the choir here. That is part 1, the zines and the books.
Hele verden. Nei, mener jeg ikke. Singapore. Tror du, eller? Singapore, sier jeg.
Yes, this is the part where, the runner-ups, as in they're not in the collection, just stuff that I listen to, like the Son Naboul, great records that just didn't make it in collection, or that are basically just digital. I hope it works out what I'm planning, and there should be records appearing here, but otherwise I'm just out of center. There were quite a few, because I scaled back a bit on grabbing everything. Like I said, sometimes things are just not available also, it's becoming too much to get everything. It's impossible. I try to support as much as I can, but I still need to live a bit on other fronts. Like I said, the runner-ups. In doing this, in researching, I always wait until the last day of the year. That's why I publish, That's why I go live the first of the year, because at the end of the year, it is insane what gets dropped. What I missed, not from last of the year, but I completely missed, there was a new Sargeist, Flame Within Flame, which is a great record. Countess also dropped a new track, Flames of Steel, so a lot of flames in that category. In the absolute last weeks of, absolute last week, Circle of Ouroboros dropped Caretar, I think, their 25th record. That should be appearing here. The A side is online, and it's just, it's the continuation of something great. In the same time, Elemental Tetra Sigil dropped a split that I have heard or checked but not delved into, because that camp dropped like 5 records at once. You have the Matruzebu, the Uluations Before the Forbidden Tetrafim, I guess. And as if that wasn't enough, you have Keres with Mysticismo Senza Radici. So 1, 2, 3, by 4 or 5, just full lengths. Like, here you go. Fuck your end of the year list. The 3 others that I discovered in the last part of looking into stuff was the Cursed Relic, the 9th Rip, which is an awesome record on the verge of, it's not death metal, it's not black metal, it's it's the Mad Goat, Sadistic Goat Master also. Those 2 are linked for me, just because they were recommended by the Baphomancia camp, so it's in that section of music you should look into it. A bit of war metal, a bit of everything. The Caedes Cuenta with, here we go, Opkoch, I think, Ekakeu, something like that, by Zombie Dance, is announced. It is live. There's 1 track, but it's not completely out, so it's, is it this year, is it last year? And then Cenotaph Chimeres is also a very, very nice record. Yes, that were the, I guess, additions to the list. The first one is Popol Vuh by Volam, the Black Twilight Circle band that is popping out of the underground once again with a full length. There is for now, I think, a tape release that was only available on shows. There is a promo tape, but it's all that part of the country, so kind of out of my reach for now. The tapes that I didn't get that I'm very interested in is the Katoi Producties from Holland. You might know them from Erscheinung, Tarenbart, Nervatur. They have a label on their own, Katoi, but the distribution usually goes, or the tapes get doubled by New Era Productions. There were 2 Blemjai, I think that's how it's called, Groenmetal, 2, The thing I like by Katoi Productions is the first time I put these tapes on, it's always like, gee, I don't know what I'm listening to. I don't think it's for me. And then you keep listening, like Erscheinung, Die Halve Gallig. It's just, it becomes apparent what the thing is, and it goes from ambient to black metal to noisy stuff. It's all over the place. Just very good stuff. You have Blemjai, I guess, Erscheinung, Tannenbach, Memlink, which had a split with Triste Saison that just got released, so there's a lot to dive into. Nervature, also a new record for this year. So one of the labels that I am very fond of. It's from my neck of the woods-ish. Yeah, good guys that have help from even also equal guys that are good. I don't know where I went with that. Then two from Finland, the Clandestine Blaze, Consecration of the Bloods, and War Logo with logos of all that ends on Northern Heritage. These two bands are, you know, in my book, top tier. Like I said, the last time I talked about Clandestine Blaze, I don't think there's a bad record in there. Nico, you know, character to say the least, but he makes some fucking good black metal. Same goes for Warlock. They go back so long. Yeah, just incredible bands, and still need to pick them up. Then we have Vortex of the Destroyer by Svartzin, Dutch band that once again goes way back into time. Let's see, I've written something down. NED, yeah, the labels, but Nomad Snake Pit and Nomad Evangelium Diaboli, the two labels that put it out. Then records that I really would have liked in collection, as you can see by here. We have Cryptic Spirits that dropped Violation of the Angel Part 1 on Winterreich, a label that is dug out of the coffin for this year. They have been putting out batches on a regular basis. I'm missing everything just because it's from Australia, and they sell out before they even hit distros. I asked around, nobody is getting them, so and then yeah, they have Demo 4. I have 1 and 2 from Cryptic Spirits, which is MN from Carved Cross and Forbidden Citadel and stuff like that, and then you know, Nachtlich Dude. Demo 4 is on Solar Winds, another label. And then you have the Black Line splits. One is with Herified Catacomb with you know, the same guy, and then one is with the Carved Cross. But like I said, it's impossible for me to get these, I guess. That was the first part. Then Peacefuls, Prisoners of Time on Crypt of the Wizards, the first Crypt of the Wizards record that's on this list. Yeah, a bit of English folk mixed with Austrian folk, doing some very interesting things. I was hoping they would play Life After Death, but it seems that, I don't know, they did something very cool. Rudimentary Penny mixed with the guy from Mesako are doing a project there, so there will be a lot, but I'm still waiting on a few names. Peacefuls is yeah, I guess a Filtrake band, but with more hooks in the underground, that dropped a very good record. And the one that I liked the most that I don't have is Disembowler, the demo. They were called Blindness before. I saw them open up Live After That last year, and they kind of blew my mind. Filthy death metal from England, but yeah, very good. Then to America, Sonambuli, this one that's been playing the entire time. Spirits are real and they will possess you. Like I said, after 3 demos and a head shrinker tape, this one delivered in full. And I'm very picky when it comes to, you know, ambient, dark ambient dungeons, and there has to be some aggression or some, you know, something wrong with it, and this has everything I love about this stuff. A bit of punk. The first one is Punal with Buscando la Muerte on La Vida es un Mus, red cover with the devil on. Yeah, this one, I hope. Otherwise, I'm making an utter fool of myself. Red cover with the devil on, just, you know, Spanish. I think they're from Spain, because the label's from Spain or England. You know, it's all very weird, but it could be they're from South America. I'm blanking on it because that was maybe in January already. But yeah, you know, just fun punk hard records. Carnivorous Bells with Beacons in Limbo on Human Headstone presents. I didn't listen to it a lot because it's fairly recently, but the first thing I had was Brain Bombs with Lugubrum together, and I don't want to hear anything else. I've been listening and following that label since the very first start. I just put the tapes on in the last video, the Carnivorous Bells, and I think the other one, the Human Headstone tape, I guess. Yeah, just very good music. Yeah, that's all I can say. Youth Attack dropped some heat. We're still in the punk one before we dive back into the other stuff. Cadaver Dog, Bred to Fight. It's underway, or it's, you know, in my US hub, but the Denver bands never seem to cease to amazed. Maze, Jesus. Yeah, it's always very hard, aggressive, in your face, hardcore, that holds no pores. So you had that. There was a City Hunter Bled Out Alive that I missed, unfortunately. I fucked up with the payment and it was gone. Culture Shock with the self-titled, which, once again, is underway, but still, all these Denver bands, I talked about that enough. The surprise for Youth Attack was the Blood and Tears with Heritage that came out very late in the year, and was kind of a weird one for Youth Attack in the sense that it's kind of post-punk, dead rock, new wavy-esque. It speaks about themes that black metal is full with, heritage and, going back to the old ways and things like that. It is half Fellowfield, half Youth Attack, mixed with some other guys, but it's for them it's a weird sound. The inclusion of Fellowfield or this Wood is kind of makes it, understandable what they were going for, but it's a record that baffles me and that I need to spend a little bit more time with just to get fully into. But interesting one. Then into the Northern Imperial Underground, we have Rasp and Whispers from Beneath the Sandstone Altar. They have 9 releases this year alone. I managed to grab, I think, 2 are going to be in the tape thing, but 9 releases. Long before time was known. If you have that tape and you want to pass it on, please let me know. Occulted Death Stance had Wake and Hate. The cover, him eating barbed wire. It's incredible, very good. And then Wolf's Angel with Palestine Winter. I grabbed the To Become One, the compilation, but the Palestine Winter eluded me. Lightning Under Camouflage and Gudrun doing neofolk in the best way possible. Congrats to you too. The last one from the Northern Imperial Underground for sure is the Aardslike with Black Tar on Legion Rotan. A record that once again eluded me this year. I saw it pop up here and there, but you can't get everything. Some American stuff. True Iron Will with Spirit of Steel after their first full length. This one was on my want to hear list because it's just the first one had some Blazebird Hall influences and some Slavic here and there, but it has also that American motorcycle, not heavy metal, but and also not country rock or whatever, but it is just a weird amalgamation of all these weird styles. Some American black metal thrown in, so very sick records, very sick 1 and 2. The Diogen with the Graves and Ghosts of Yore on Nitztang, and I'm not sure where the LP came out, maybe Phantom War, I'm not sure. Diogen back from the grave once again. A band, I think, the guy from Nitztang definitely, Skion da Genga, and maybe one other guy, but I'm not really sure, so I'll let it go. From the same camp is the Verstek in Geheimnisvol of Ash, Blood and Steel. That is Ancient Horror, Nitztang, and Phantom Lure, which did the LP version. Great year for them too. The last one from the US camp, I think, is the Behemoth Baphomancia split, which is, who had that on their bingo card? Malignant Ascension of Necromantic Evil on Apolakis Records. That is still at Down with the Most High headquarters for me, because I'm waiting on a Ceremonial Incantations, which had an enormous good full-length or EP or whatever you want to call it. So from that camp, a lot of good stuff. We are almost done with this list. I'm going to keep you longer, but there will be something to see, I promise. The Kersenlicht demo on Signal Rex is a Finnish band that I'm pretty sure have people in there that we know from other bands, but look into it for yourself. They didn't blow me over with this one, but it kind of has enough to get me back in and again, so there's something there. One that has to be on here that I have not heard, but just for the sheer sense that it's 30 years later after their demo. Funeral with Opus Satani Excelsi Out of the Dungeon is the label that released the CD for now. There is no digital, as far as I can find. Probably on Soulseek there is, but not yet. So this is pure on, fanboy. principles that I'm putting it on here. But yeah, CD for now. I think there will be a vinyl copy, but it's not priority for the label or for the band, it seems. And then the last thing from that camp is a tribute to Concilium on Fortress Productions, which is reimaginations of songs by Concilium bands by Walginge, Wendell, Blackula, Castreder, Necropol, Goldmoon, whatever you want. A lot of stuff. The last two I think I want to highlight is one that came very late, is a Belgian thing. It's called Modig, demo one, and it's black ambient drone noise on Legion. Yeah, it has a Legion Noir comparison, so the more ambient stuff that Legion Noir did, but it's from Belgium. I don't know who's behind it. It crept up on Rites of Pestilence. It says Belgium, so I always tend to check that out. Yeah, that is one that I appreciated in the last few weeks, where my head was exploding and I needed a bit less black metal and a bit more ambient, just like this one. Very, very good still. Then the EP, album or EP, not in collection of the year for me is, can you guess? I'll give you 3 more seconds. Yes, Gam, of course, with Valravnen on Resilience. It's also one of those that's only on CD. I should have bought the CD, but it never popped up in the right distro for me to put it in a bundle. I'll get to it. It's not on vinyl for now, but no, we'll see. It is just another perfect example of how Danish black metal is still on the forefront, still doing an absolute banger job on just creating the sound that I want to hear. It is well played, it is very good. The execution is perfect. They have their instruments are played to perfection. The bass on here is incredible. It's not a slow Greek bass, but it's played in the same efficiency and just a great record. There's the next light, which I never hear anymore, just into the burliest black metal part you ever heard this year. It has that Danish swoon, that 7 gear that just they have. I don't want to fillet them all the time, but it's just, how can you not? Proficiently played, part interlocking perfectly. It's not just a based on of different parts, just they gel, they groove. It has everything I want. It is a beautiful, simple cover, just a raven in the forest in a nice grandma frame. But yeah, that is one of the bands I would love to see on, I don't know, a festival in London that is being held soon. That is the list. I'll put these as a extra. I always say when it hits 1,000 I will do the list, and I always forget, but I'll put that list on if I find the time, because it is getting close to the hour of publishing once again. That's it. That's the list, not in collection. All that is left is this and then the list. I don't know, third part. After this, we are listening to Maudir. Let's look it up again. Maudir with Demo 1. It's below. You can find the listening links or playing in the sepulchre. Like I said, yeah, black ambient drone noise compared to the early ambient stuff from Religion Noire. Yeah, interesting, very grand in scope. And put it down a bit because it's actually deep sound. Yeah, interesting, very interesting. This is the compilations or re-releases or stuff like that. I'm not going to get them down. I have few knickknacks here, not too much. Just I don't want this to be, a Lord of the Rings-esque length. But yeah, very good record. I recommend that. Yeah, finally put this thing out on vinyl. This was maybe one of my, I guess, most expensive records to get, just because of the import stuff. This year has been off. I mean, it's in my head. I want it all, but I have to let a few things go because it's becoming impossible. The Chemical Dead, which is a duo release, that's this one. Brazilian band dug out of the old underground 80s, late 80s, early 90s. That's kind of time period where Brazil or South America was going mental. Zombie Dance and Nuclear War Now. There is the Forbidden Citadel of Spirits release that Signal Rex did. This was the third volume of that entire compilation that started with Skill. That unfortunately never came to fruition in full. The 1 and 2 came out on Skill, I think, a while ago now, because yeah, let's face it, Rasta has been gone for a while. Not forgotten though. But yeah, it's fine, or it's cool to see. They also did the Sakai, last piece of the puzzle, I think the fourth one that I missed or didn't pick up. Then we have the Abgor re-releases on DSLR, I think. I'm not sure. These are the demos. They also did Nachthinden this year, which there's I think there's going to be a lot more. I think Verwustung is next on the list. I've read somewhere on the flyer, but yeah, after the tape box, it's cool to see the picture disc versions coming up. Then one of the sickest compilations, and that is Dutch Deranged and Depraved, together with the this one. I just put the shitter on here. Yeah, it fell off because I don't have it. Two releases by New Era Productions. One that is just pure Dutch filth, and then that one is The Night, Le Groupe Room, Dark Alley Night with Le Groupe Room Triste Saison and Motoristum, which was one of my favorite nights. I think last year already, but it's so late that it's this year. Then this one, which I always forget what the title it is, Unruhal, something like that, with Vetter and Blotskald, two demos, I think from the States, still not sure, on Medieval Prophecy Records that just were one of the highlights from the entire catalog they put out this year. There's some more, still for a band I don't know or didn't hear anything about. That one popped out for sure. Then, of course, after the Sandstone, I had to put in some Rune Boy. This is a compilation 7-inch with a new track done by let's see, by Springheads, originally played by Springhead on Spring Comes Again, released in Oscar, written by Martin Locker, so they did the cover of themselves, I guess, but complicated, it's always complicated. And then the LP1, which came out. Abruptum, with that weird title in Latin. Sinister Black Noise on Visonus Veris Nigrae Malitais. One of the most fucked up ambient records you ever heard. If I put stuff like this on just to relax my head, I put this one on too, but it just becomes more deranged inside. Then a compilation of great bands, A Legacy, Stained in Blood from Blood and Crescent, Fellwinter, what else is on here? I put a few out just for the glare. This is Gauntlet Ring, Atea Sophia, Fellwinter, and Arbor, all Taurus releases. I never gave them shit in, I'll rectify the situation, but I never really gave them shit. It's just the deluge and the prices of these records that kind of put me off of the label, but no complaints whatsoever there. Like I said, I'll rectify that situation. Then, Down with the Most High, should be in here. Of course, we had a great talk. There's still so much more where we can go, but yeah, what they're doing for the scene, I guess, not only in Spain, but you know, the Winds of Agony Festival, they're doing the Morbid gigs, the Celtic Frost stuff. It's one of those labels that is steeped in, you know, in history, but still with an eye on the underground of today, like witchcraft, like so much more. And Buffmans, yeah. This is the, in his offertory, the compilation of all the tapes and demo material that came with the Treblinka Noise Chamber, also on vinyl for the first time. So the combination between that camp and Down with the Mosa is good news for Europe, because Sinfro Belial, for example, the tape label is doing their stuff in the States, but then, you know, once again, story as new as time, it's impossible to get all the stuff from the States. Then, Feral Hearts, there is the, this one, the Hollow Serpent's Tooth compilation of 2 EPs or 2 demos, which, once again, ambience, but all over the place. It's not just ambient, there's some black metal on here, but, you know, deconstructed, whatever you want. It's a weird one. And then the 2 All the One Gash demos, right there, which, yeah, that's always high in my book. The 1,000 Arrows or something, the flyers over there, but it's too small to read. I'm still looking forward to that release that will be coming out soon, I guess. Then the last 2, of course, the Catharsis 666. It's not a new record by any means. It's one of those records that is a pure bootleg or a, you know, fan edition, legacy edition, whatever you want. This has been a year that I think people are still mad about bootlegs, but they're coming out left and right just because, you know, the records are unobtainable in the sense that they are $1,000 records, 600 and more. Like the Dead Crush I had is like 4,000 euros. And then last but not least, the Beherit live in Praha, Czech. Yeah, live ceremony of Beherit. I still haven't seen them live. They've played all over, but not in my neck of the woods or not in my neighborhood. Still hoping to, you know, it's maybe a bit too late. I'm not. Everybody I hear talking about them is just like, they're on. I mean, they haven't faltered since. And they're still on top. Now, the other stuff that I did have handy is these tape boxes. This one is the, I'm always blanking on the label. It should become apparent in when I look through it here and there, but like I said, I was blanking on the label. As far as I know, this is a Belgian label that does some very cool tape releases. They have Mare. They had one I'm blanking on right now. Yeah, I don't know the third, but this is Blood, Fire and Death, a tribute to Quarton and the Music of Battery. This is the Greek Hallen concert. I still don't know how they got the entire thing, but yeah, here we go. Seems that this is an ongoing story, the entire Battery thing, because they're playing Eindhoven next year. I don't know, hope it's still good and hope with the right people, but there you go. This is, it's just a very nicely released, you know, object, document of that night. It's stuck in a case that has, you can't see it, or maybe, yeah, there you go. It has, you know, spot gloss going very lightly over it. It comes with a bunch of, you know, little cards, everything nerds like me relish about. It comes with a little booklet with all the pictures. There we go. Just nicely released by that label. They always have these weird special things. I'm not sure if it's bootleg or semi-official, official. I mean, in black metal, what is and what is not. I learned yesterday that every Nastrund release, apart from the original CD, is a bootleg. So who knows? From the same label, that Black Spells of something, from the same label is the Tout compilation, the Prix Take. This is my only sheet as far as I know, because this is from 2024, but it was so late that I guess it still counts. It comes in this leather wrapper. You can use it as a wristband if you want. But yeah, like I said, Prix Take Hust compilation of demo material, another extra slipcase, and then this is one of the demos, Tout. Strength Begrenzt Oplag. Limited to 66 copies. This is 20 Black Spells of Destruction. There you go. I knew it was somewhere. Yeah, this comes with a bunch of little extras. There is the logo sticker. I don't see these pop up too much, so when I have something I don't see too much or shown here, I'll try to show it. This is the J cards, and then a remake or a copy of the original little flyer for this one. Zwartroof and Ulf Hidden. Yeah. Host, the one with no bad pictures. He has one of the most fucked up faces. His eyes. I mean, he wears lenses, I know, but his eyes are always. I mean, his gaze or his stare goes through those lenses for sure. So yeah, that is my 1, 2, 4 tape releases, I guess, from Belgium. Love these tunes, especially this one. It's very, very nice. And then the last thing I wanted to highlight was the, which came out for me, which was a highlight, is the Morbid Metal. I got this from a good friend of mine that is on, you know, another world trip. He sold this to me at cost, even though it was for getting funding for his trip. Yeah, Dennis, thank you. This is the, like I said, Morbid Metal 7-inch box by Samael, done through DSR probably, Darkness Shall Rise, yes, of course. They have been on a streak that is, I mean, incredible. The box, very nicely done. There we go. Printed with the entire thing. Into the Eternal Storm of Evil, Macabre Operetta, Medieval Prophecy, From the Dark to Black, Morbid Metal Live 92. So a bunch of 7 inches, comes with a card that depicts the limitation. This is the picture disc version. There was a second run of 500, I think, black version. This is the one you want. There you go. The patch. It comes with a huge booklet. But Morbid Metal. These are, I mean, some of the most influential 7 inches or recording 7 inches. They were on tape, I guess, but some of the most influential things to come out of Europe. Time, you know, some original pictures of those 7 inches, which are hard to find. Swiss bands that I think in the tail of Celtic Frost and stuff like that were on a major label. I think Blood Ritual, is it that? I think that was on Century Media. So I'm not saying they blew up, but you know, Century Media was looking at Switzerland or what else was in that plant just to grab some stuff. Yeah, good records up until then, and then they, you know, for each their own. Yeah. First one, second one, you know, the goats. They're all very nicely done. And the picture discs are cool. It's more of a, you know, thing to have than to play. I play them all. They sound pretty good for a picture disc. I think the time that picture discs were, you know, just a piece of paper pressed between two layers of plastic is a bit over, but it's always a gamble, I guess. But yeah, these were the releases that I really enjoyed, that are not, you know, album of the year material in the sense that they are older or compilations of stuff. But yeah, I mean, the tracks on here are great. Everything is great. Otherwise, they wouldn't have made the wall of filth, I guess. Okay, that leaves us with the daunting task of the most appreciated, and that will be the last parts. Okay, we are slowly reaching the end of the video. Very slowly, because we still have the EPs and the fulls to do. It turned out this way that the tapes or the first pile I'm doing are all EPs, demos, stuff like that. So it breaks down to best EPs and then best full lengths. So without further ado, this one is Under the Full Moon, the first one to kick it off. This comes from Spain and is one of those. In a sense, it is Greek in sound and in theme, but it's played through the filter of something like, I wouldn't say Motorhead, but it has, you know, a pumped up tempo more than it has the Greek doom slow thing. But The tape I enjoyed very much on, I'm not sure what label this is on, Crimson Tide Productions I think, but I don't know, there's more here, Escalation, stuff like that. Limited to 150 and this is 69, which is always a plus. So yeah, Under the Moon, I think, what's the title? Under the Spell of the Eclipse is the first tape. I enjoyed this one. This came out of nowhere, and then I think Diabolical Vitriol, still my tape distro of the year, picked it up. Next video will probably be them. That is the first one. The second one is this one, a bit closer to home, Forbidden Temple with Dracul Rehearsals. After the full length, which will probably show up, no spoilers, they hit us with another rehearsal tape, a bit more pro this time on Gramps. Klaus Kinski on the cover. There you go. I think Kinski. It's been a while since I dug into this. Yeah, some Dracula stuff. Nourish My Morbid Desires, Maledictus Noise, I think, and Eternal Draculian Madness, recorded 24-25. So rehearsals for the full, I don't know, just another cool gold tape. Looks incredible. Dolk 24 Gramschap did a very good thing with this. A bit further from home once again, and these are actually a 1-2. It's Sinister Oog from Fur, or Van Fur, the band from the Zwartkunst Smederij stable, Spectre, and another one who was helping, Kraboster, I think, on Strengen. Very cool. This is the continuation of the first sound. They are doing a bit more live shows here and there. They're creeping out of the Dutch underground. I think they played Bergen, Norway, and some more. I showed this one already. So just good continuation of the sound that Spectre has been cultivating for a few years now, if not centuries. Then one that grabbed me very hard, and this is actually the only thing I grabbed from the Medieval Prophecy records, Donnersvolk, yes, with Germaanse Geest. There was this, and then there was a bunch of CDs, which I'm woefully blanking on right now. I think the Nyasny, the first full length, which should have been mentioned in the not on physical media, but there are so much releases I just simply forget the ones I do not have in collection. But yeah, this is German Imperiosus, and then Stormram on drums, two entities from the Dutch underground that come together to do this very, very good tape. Donnersvolk verzet zich tegen de ondergang, de zuivering komt, 37. So yeah, a limited tape version, Germaanse Geest introductie, laatste ademrunnen and blood, so it's all in Dutch. But yeah, one that keeps coming back in rotation for me, so this is definitely one that earned their spot on the list. I hope there's more. I think there's more coming. I'm not 100% sure. Then we have Confus with Rabenlieder. This one came to me 100% to Diabolical Vitriol as a promo for me to listen to. It was a part of 4 tapes, I think, which were all pretty good, but this one stood out to me. A German one-man project, I'm pretty sure, that plays Germanic, paganistic black metal in the best sense of the word. There you go. Self-released, I'm pretty sure. North Germanische black metal, limited to 50. Not sure if this is still available, but it seems that in the new batch or the new drop from Diabolical Vitriol, there is a new demo or an EP, I'm not sure. And then, last but not least, once again from Vitriol, is the self-released or released through them, the Azel's Glare with Autumn Passes as the Winds Start Their Chant. One female black metal project from, I think, somewhere in Spain, but I'm not sure anymore. Eiffel is the name, or is her name. She plays all instruments. It is a Slavic team, like Blazeberg Hall-ish, I think, or no, this was more Polish. Ronichian pagan black metal, yeah, this was more Polish in team. So Azul's Glare, music is dedicated to the Temple of Full Moon. There we go, Blazebird Hall, I was on the mark. Full Moon and Nazgul. Special thanks to, and then a list of names. And it seems there's a duo, so it's not all self-released. Here we go. So yeah, Slavic in team, there will be some more Slavic in team. But yeah, second, is this a demo or full length? I'm not sure how many tracks are on here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or something. So yeah, EP, demo, like it matters. It's all good music, no matter what it's called. Then a 3-pack. I could have shown a 10-pack because, as you know, we love Horrible Room. This first one is Leshy with this title. This came as a surprise for me a bit, in the sense that Leshy is normally known for their early oi-influenced punk, black metal, whatever you want to call it, Russian version of that, that has been pervading the underground, or the black metal underground, since 2 years, I guess. This is Horrible Room, and New Era. What this is more of a maybe a folk release by them. There you go, 4 or 5 tracks, I think. There's not much info on here like usual, because it's just this and then blank cards. I've noticed there is a Burzum cover or a rework on here, but it's yeah, if you're into that hard Horrible Room sound, this is not it. This is more of a folk acoustic affair. This one I picked, I think it's Field or something like this. It's always the same. It's this, but yeah, it had something to do with Field. I'm not sure if the album is called Field or the EP is called Field or the band, but it's a very good tape. It is the perfect example of the diversification that is going on in Horrible Room, in the sense that it's not just a, you know, stomp, stomp, stomp. There's post stuff going in here, post punk, post this, post that. This one has a very, as far as it develops in the 5 or 6 tracks on here, it allows more and more influences out of post-punk and stuff like that. So not going to say it's Joy Division, but you know, those kind of lines run through the black metal-esque compositions. So just a very good example of what the future will hold for them, I guess. That being said, there is this one, and this is a beautiful compilation or a 4-way split from that label that houses, as far as I can see, Leshy, then Star Temple, I think, is one that had Kids and Bed or something like that, and then The Field. Yeah, I'm very sorry, I'm always butchering this, but they made it, or they make it, so I'm butchering this. Yeah, they're always very nice marbled tapes, these last drops, very cool. And this is the, as far as black metal goes, this is the closest to the Horrible Room sound, or the classic Horrible Room sound for the most bands. The last track, which is The Field, has some orchestration in there, some Russian orchestration, I guess, but yeah. Cool to see this. This is, of course, on vinyl, like Obscurant Visions, all the things are coming out. Then to England for this one. This is Wolf's Angel with When Two Become One. I hinted it in the not on physical release list. This is a compilation of the 2 tapes, Palestinian Winter, and I think maybe Wolf's Ruin was the original one. I'm not sure. But this is like a concept black and white, I guess, tape. And this is WW and Gudrun doing a neo-folk project that is also linked to Dead in June, maybe, with some instrumentation here and there that echoes that band. And like I said, this is a compilation of the 2 things. When Two Become One, maybe a Spice Girls reference, I'm not sure. But yeah, cool to see them doing a thing, and once again, congrats to you 2 for the unholy matrimony. Then, one that came out of left field, Matul Zebu with Blood Cries with Sorrow on Ancient Cult. Yeah, the one whose name I always forget from Circle of Ouroboros and KS and all the other bands. Storm the Gates of Eden, Ritual Feast, Fiery Countenance, I think, Defiled Sanctuaries and Wings Over Tartarus. Another project by him. Bit left field black metal, but you know, Blood Cries with Sorrow was recorded in the Elemental Cavern. Very good demo for this, and this project has a full length on His Wounds, I think, out now, the one that I mentioned in the list. Yeah, check this one out if you're into KRS Circle. It's somewhere in that entire thing, somewhere in the middle, but still very much black metal, not like Circle. Then, one that I discovered through the internets, this is Wotan's Cult with Back to the Pagan Times. This is a Brazilian one-man project that has been called Brasilskirnig on YouTube, of course, where else everybody is a comedian in the comments. This took me by surprise in the sense that it was mentioned from Brazil in the comments, and then when I clicked it, it was a very, very different sound. It's Germanic in tone and in style. What grabbed me the first time is the one that I'm blanking on, the new one that is coming out. So full length, I guess, by Wotan's Cult. This is the demo. I'm not sure which I prefer, but this one is in collection, so I'm showing this one. As far as I can see, the tape is not out yet, so it is digital for now. The cover is a Norse god coming out of the clouds or out of the sea with a big flaming sword, something like this. But this is on Hammerbund, and I grabbed it from there, I think. But yeah, very interesting sounds. I think I prefer the full length for now, but we'll see. The next one is Kvat with Sort Skogsmesse on Sonorous Night, Penegrinus from the Abyss with one of his releases. I have a few, and not it's a lot they release, but I picked out this one because this has one of my favorite sounds. This is Norwegian black metal pure sang, one of the purveyors of that sound. In my opinion, it's a mix between Chaos Ritual, Isengard somewhere on that bridge, but yeah, played very well. Peregrinus and Lord G, I think, one of the releases they pulled off, and I'm not sure if they're behind everything. There's one he's playing on some of them, the other one's playing on some of them, and I think other people are in there too, but like I said, I'm not sure. I've seen a video of them rehearsing and it looked like more people, but who knows. But yeah, this one is like a stand-in for the entire Sonorous Night, I guess, stable. All the records they're doing. Very interesting, very cool to hear. Norway still producing good black metal. Then Lunar Sorcery, back to Medieval Prophecy Records. This is Collier d'Ombre, which will probably show up again, and the top is not rearranged. Collier d'Ombre, Vasu Badlat's alumni, together with Chaos Moon, Alex Paul, who have bands like Igor's Glaive, Kemnan Forage, something like that, Felsteimer. A lot of bands, all American inspired, or not inspired, but all American black metal bands. This is a demo, or the first demo from that combination that came out on Medieval Prophecy, like I said. German inspired, early Nagarot, Moonblood, stuff like that. Yeah, there we go. They are heralded as a duo, but it seems the pictures is always just one. Logo by Goat Prayer, lyrics by The Sorcerer, music by Graf, Azawandils, and War, I think. But yeah, good tape. Very, very well played, and deserves a spot in this thing. Not 100% sold on the cover, but yeah. The next one I am sold on the cover and the sound of the tape. This one. I'm not sure who is behind this one. This is from the label Bloodthorn, that does self-release tapes that sell out like 15 copies or something. And thank God, Medieval Prophecy is picking them up. There is a Spartadautus mixed in here and there. I think he does the logo or mix and mastering, stuff like that. So yeah, there you go. Sin-trenched black metal, I guess from America, but I'm not sure. Mixed and mastered by Incubare, which I've seen pop up here and there, and logo and layout by Spartadautus. Intro, Mist and Fear, Blood Sorcery, Visions, The Fall of Helgor, and the outro. Once again, this guy pops up, so fairly certain that yeah, there's some mix between this and the Lunar Sorcery. But yeah, like I said, synth drenched black metal. Die me hier voor altijd, but then I don't know, the riffs are more pissed off. It's not as medieval-ish, but it is. It's a bit harder than the old Norwegian styles. Yeah. Very good releases, 1 and 2. Then my favorite from that stable is this one, Blazing Winds with their demo. This is Cordier d'Ombre once again, mixed with, I'm pretty sure it's him mixed with All the One Gash, that do an American take on, let's see, Forlorn Spirit, Incubare again, and Necklace of Shadow. So it's a big triumvirate of all those bands. They do an American take on all the Slavic bands you already forgot about, or most people forgot about. So yeah, Burning Scripture of War. There we go. Love this one very much. The broadsword, everything is on here. And this was love at first listen. When it popped up, I saw the All the One Gash. You know, it gets appreciated around here a whole bunch. Slowly reaching the last part, Erwache, Arbor. This is the first time, apart from the Legacy of Blood, with the Stain in Blood, because I made some mistakes here and there. I think 1,000 Dreams of War, not 1,000 Arrows for All the One Gash, since we're on that. And there was one in the Zines that was a Norwegian, not a Russian band, but upon reviewing, you know, just rambling. But yeah, Arbor met Erwache, or Wake Up. This is Taurus with, I think, his latest offering for Arbor. There was the full length, of course, full length EP, once again. Then there were the tracks on Stain and Blood, and there's this. I think this is a 4-tracker, yes. Ancient Shadow, Night Skies Ablaze, or Night Sky Ablaze, Quest for Knowledge, and Erwache. Recorded in January, so I'm not sure where it falls in the timeline, but I think this is tracks that link up with the tracks from the compilation, because it's that kind of sound. Very Burzum-esque, but yeah, the last track, Erwache, is more of a folkish, yeah, not a black metal track, but a more, I'm blanking on the words, you know, not distorted. It's a very simple word that I'm blanking on, but yeah, this is the first Blood and Crescent release that I'm showing. It's limited to 300 copies, which, I mean, one of the comments on YouTube is, when does he sleep? It's incredible. The playing, the rehearsing, and then the dubbing. I mean, to hand dub 300 tapes all the time. I mean, it's incredible. Yeah, it is the work ethos and the ethos you need, I think, to do it right in these times of a dying music genre. But very cool tape, definitely if you're into, or especially if you're into Burzum stuff. Cheers. Tasty. We are approaching the end, so the coffee is gone. Then, into the Northern Imperial Underground, Rasping Whispers from Beneath the Sandstone Altar. I have Space Saxons, and then I have the split with Overtrodden, the Northern Imperial Underground, which is quite the package. Not the... I've seen people say this is a continuation of Rune Boy. Yes and no. They are two bands or two projects that run next to each other or apart from each other. Rune Boy is in ascension, or essentially, like I said, Aske and Hodge and Pitt and a lot of other people. Rasps and Whispers is a band that consists of a few people from Rune Boy, but then other people altogether that are also in other projects. Very confusing, but What's cool about this, if you listen to Rune Boy, it's kind of a sound, you know, it's kind of a sound what to expect when you listen to this. Every tape can be different. The one that I'm looking for is just sounds like a very improvised, noisy affair. Then there's this one which is kind of folky, kind of neo folk, so it's always something different, very interesting, and I think improvised in a large part. This one came through Asken. So there is still a connection. A flying hammer. There's some tchotchkes in there. So a mountain that spits up some sounds. Wood Brazil. Black tape as usual. And then there's this one, the skull with the Saturnal rings. That is a commercial. Pause for a minute. We'll see if we can cut that. That's unfortunately, if you play stuff from YouTube, that was the module that just cut out. There's no end to it. This is the Matruzebu with the uluations or something like the big full length that's coming out. Back to the rasps and whispers. Like I said, the skull with the Saturnal rings and going through it. Yeah, there's one track on here, Soaring Along the Bionic Asteroids. But yeah, you know that we love the pit here, so everybody that's connected to the pit gets equal parts love. Cheers to the drummer. That's the first one, and then the second one is this one, Overtrodden. I'll get it out because it's actually a very nice tape. But like I said, yeah, very improvised, I know, or I think this is the one that they just recorded between the stones, the sandstones, I guess. I've seen videos and pictures. Yeah, the ghosts of ancient English stone. There you go. The tape itself is this one. That is a picture from the session they did. What a time. And then the tape is this. This is on the Hutchin pit itself. And side B is Overtrodden. There you go. The side B track is called Gloaming Ghosts and the Parlor Presence. Yeah, to get them all is something I let go because it's just too much. One that I'm very happy to have grabbed, and this came from Legion Wotan. I think it's Hutchin Pit, but then it is Hutchin Pit, but then distributed through Legion Wotan. I just took a gamble, ordered from the UK because otherwise it would be sold out. Not the entire batch. I mean the tape case with the shells on there, and it's all so beautiful, but I just grabbed two, I think. I think the Overtrodden tape I just showed, and then the Gilster into Pagan Hellfire, which is getting a bit of attention last week, or was getting a bit of attention last week because it got re-uploaded on YouTube, I think. Yeah, the Pagan front, I guess, that is Hutchin Pit. There is a vein running through it with Raven's Realm, with Eternal Tyrant. I don't know if they like me saying that, but no, it's just good black metal. This is the continuation of the sound. It's not 100% the same. Eternal Tyrant has that dungeon synth influence here and there. This is just straightforward pagan stuff. Track list: Only Hair into Pagan Hellfire, Iron Nickel Alloy, and To Taste the Metal of the Allfather. Yeah, a very good tape that gets heavily played here. There you go. The black bag, of course, and then the dragon. This was on the shirt also. If you're interested in that, yeah, Hutchin Pit stamped. There you go. That was, I guess, number 3, and then 1, 2, 3 is a bit. I don't know. It's a good. It's a good showcase of what black metal can be. In, I guess, in 2025, there are so many styles of black metal that if you start looking at any of the year lists, there are just lines or veins within black metal that I'm completely unaware of. I'm not sure they're all my cup of tea, but yeah, it's weird to see that there's so much releases just only black metal. It's insane. But yeah, like Gilstad, who does pagan stuff. Then you have these ones, Vemgericht. There's on Torture Palace, which is Zyklon B in look and in sound maybe, but some old Edgore influences also on here. This is Torture Palace with their first 7-inch or their first vinyl release. Baptized in fulminated mercury, carpine avatar of plutonium, cryptic utterances from the hollow place between the stars, Jesus, and return to Incunabula Moss. Mendenhall, United States, PA. If you want to write them, there you go. Yeah, some very nice stuff from Angel Destruction and Ghostir, I think. Atomic Percussion and Anti-Literature, Holocaust Strings and Synthesizer. Like I said, Cyclone B and Abigor-ish sounds. Yeah, the looks are definitely that war-themed Norwegian. There you go. Like I said, a 7-inch, which has good tip for everybody actually. And then there is a order form for the Onyx Blade, I think. Yes, Onyx Blades. My Eternal Aura, and then the Wemgericht. Very nice EP. Yeah, it just goes hard, really hard. It's fast, it's aggressive, it's end-time music. And then my first, I guess, or the top 3 is Fluid. This is Nokken with the demo 1, but it's called Semper Viren, or Semper, yeah, Viren Black Metal. There you go. This is Shiver and let's get it open. Shiver and Vulcan. Shiver on guitars and vocals, and Vulcan on drum and bass. Artwork and logo created by Isa Carlucci and photography by Empyrean Siren. This is their self-released CD version. The tape version was through Tour de Garde. This got sent to me by Shiver himself. Inscripted Mist Creations. The first one was the VMOT CD LP. And this, if you know Arcane Archivist, it's the same guy. I think there's no secret anymore. If you know what he is into, this is all, you know, put into this band. And it's a very nice CD, or a very incredible CD, what came out, or how it came out. This is the flyer for that. Nokken Semper Viren, bandcamp.com. There we go. So yeah, that is my 1, 2, 3, the Gielstar, the Wemgericht, and then the Nokken. Listen to this a bunch. The CD was in the car for a long, long time. Frog on the Skull. There we go. That's a nice top 3 to round it all off. But yeah, like I said, there is so much more to listen to. There's so much more I missed. To find the time to hear it all. That was the EPs and demos. We have one big pile left to do, and then we are into the new year. So hold on tight. Here we go. The last part, yeah, a lot went wrong in the last video just because the commercial was not just Monde, there was something else that crept in that I don't know, I lost focus a bit on that just because I was dealing with the records. Yeah, last part, the part of the full lengths, 25 I think, 2025. Cheers to them. We finally graduated to something a bit more yummy. Like I said, full lengths. These are, yeah, what is considered full length. I'm not going to go into the debate again. This video is long enough. Here we go. Very early in the year, Pissgrave with Malignant Worthlessness, a mouthful, came out on the heels or together with this one, and it always surprised me how well they link up. There you go. Pissgrave and Frenelit. This one is called Ashen Womb. Two death metal bangers, and I think the only death metal records that are going to be in this pile. It was clear in the beginning of the year that when a Pissgrave was coming out, it would be in the end of the year list. This song, Profound Lore, a label out of the past. It seems it's been a while since I heard from them, although they did some Vatican Shadow maybe in the last few years, but yeah, nothing too much to my liking. Seems it's the last one for them, so yeah, I don't know, we'll see if they come back after a demo and 3 full lengths. Seems sufficient, to deal with this grave, maggot infested autopsy pictures or crime scene pictures. I guess it's beyond the crime scene, but not much change in sound. It's as brutal, it's as guttural or decrepit, whatever you want to use, whatever word you want to use for this grave. It is there, but it's a nice closure of the trilogy. A bit more technical, I should say, but as stomping or as Neanderthal as Pissgrave is Frenelit with Ashen Womb after a disappointing Their Words, Not Mine records. Not disappointing, but plagued, I should say. They come back with this beast, Denmark death metal, with links to a lot of bands. There you go, I'm showing the vinyl as if they are new in stock, but I'm not sure if I'm going to do it for all the records. But these should deserve a bit more shine. I've seen them on a few end of the year lists, but not that many. I think Frenelit is still a very underrated band. There you go. Another decaying body. They're everywhere. But yeah, Denmark royalty as far as death metal goes. Wish I could see him again live. But yeah. Then Death, War, Black, whatever. This is Titan Blood. Also on the list with From the Visceral Abyss. After all their full lengths, they continue with another incredible record. This was a 1, 2, 3 that would open the list. I was pretty sure from the get-go. They're in a league of their own. I don't know if everybody likes them, but I think they're mainly considered to be a top-tier band, not just from Spain, but for black metal global. Comes with a tech booklet. Norma Evangelium Diaboli, of course. I'm looking to see if the artwork is by David Glomba this time. Tech booklet. A lot of extra artwork. Indecipherable artwork. It's always chock full. It's like a holy scripture text. It then flips over and then it continues on the other side. But yeah, this is the back of the booklet. Superb records. Very dense, very hard to get into in the first few listens. So it's a slow release for this one. Then Naked Whipper with Chapel Defilement after God knows how many years, after prison sentences and whatever you want with this band. They are back with another full length. It is a little less brutal or I don't know, a little bit less fucked up than the old stuff was, but it's still the swine priest Bedlam, nailed or be nailed, celebrated their downfall, fucked on the cross. It's all still here, still blasphemes as hell with the goat's heads, the Baphomet, everything you want from them. Naked Whipper, Dom AS666, Sonic Incinerator, Sulfur Eye, and Cryptic Tormentor. There you go, this is an insert. They're playing, they're touring, so we'll see if we'll make it to one of the shows. It's it's all black vinyl, I think. Nothing too fancy. Maybe here and there. There we go. Some artwork, or the cover artwork and the poster. Moyen. Chris out of retirement. I don't know if you you know what I mean. It's been a while since he used his pen. Then we get into some more fancier material. So that was part 1, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then we actually go to Crypt of the Wizard. This is not on Crypt, but I got it from him. This is Talit with Eternal Spiritual Conquest. I still don't know what I think about this record, but it's just so bouncy and glorious and all over the place that I keep coming back to it to see what it is that grabs me. It's Parava together with Lord Bill on Moon Worshipper Records. Yeah, it's a different beast than Eurified Catacomb because there's no Eurified in the list for this year, which is weird because there's always something for Nachlich. But I've chosen Talit for this year just because I don't have too much of those bands. This is the first press, a bit flimsy, a bit weird looking, but yeah, it kind of fits the aesthetic. It is dungeon synth, it is Calver synth, it is it's black metal, it is weird folk stuff. So yeah, like I said, all over the place. One of those records that I don't know, I should not find great, but it is great. There's a sticker that is equally maniacal, like vinyl, and then the inserts. There you go. Here are the two guys, Uke Parave and Navis Valzam and Lord Bill. Never know his last name. The duo that does some weird shit, but still very listenable, still very, it has pop sensibilities, but in a weird ass way. And then some of the absolute favorites of this year, and we're slightly creeping into some more colorful records. This is Hail Conjurer with Order of Disgrace. I don't know how many full lengths Hadi already has. I interviewed him, but I forgot already. Him and Hadi and Heidi, not Henry and Heidi, but Hadi and Heidi did a great interview. They were awesome. And that hit the 1K mark, so I'm very pleased with that. Like I said, his last full length, or his latest full length on Crypt of the Wizards, this comes on Eco vinyl. And here he is. Front, in the back. Please, if you want to hear more about these records, get into or watch the video or watch when they came in, because I'm not going to go into too much detail. Another one, these are going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, I guess a 4-piece for Crypt of the Wizard. This is Steroid with Chainmail Commandos. A bit more fun, something to play upstairs with the kids. Chipmunk, punk, whatever you want to call it, egg punk. The dungeon, I hate dungeons. Put it in there. This is the first press of that record, so that got sent to me by Charlie and his band of thieves, band of robbers, whatever you want. Yeah, Warzone in the City, Chainmail Commandos, which is the title track. It's just a fun record. Mixed them live, but I'm still hoping they announce Troll for the fest, so why not these guys? They are from Australia, so maybe that is a bit of a deal breaker, but we'll see. There we go. The lyric sheet, is there anything more on this side? No, more lyrics. And then, one of my favorite records, not just of the year, but of all time, Gopstock with Alle Door I Fremtiden. They're, I think, 4th full length, but I'm not sure. The duo that just keeps giving, keeps going. I talked about this one more than enough, but yeah. It's everything I like about music thrown into one band, and then the way they play, the way they sing, the way they sound, it's just yeah. Check it out. I can't keep saying. I mean, yeah. Scimitar with Scimitarium 1. Another band, there was also a GameStop video. Another band that I did a video with was Scimitar. This is their first full length, I think. No, after the demo, this is their first full length. This was the limited, or the more limited gold version, I think. Came with a Obi, all very foily. very nicely done by Crips, of course. I saw these guys play at the fest. I immediately bought the record because of the strength of the live performance. They are a unbelievable band. Parts slagged, parts, talk about it. You know the deal if you're a visitor of the channel or a regular here. Yeah, incredible band. I don't think they're going to play the fest again this year, but I'm sure they'll play around soon. There you go, full band. It's like Slaked, but then with Cham on vocals. Cham A, which also has a slew of solo records that are very well worth checking out. So Danish excellence. Cheers. To them and to Charlie and the bald guy, everybody involved. Thanks for for a great year, I guess. Then we're staying in Denmark for a while. This is No Future, one of my most forward-looking albums, or that I look forward to. This is the band that not came out of In Solitude, but they were existing next to In Solitude together with, I think, I'm not sure if Eric from Watain is still in here, but these are the brothers from In Solitude, the two brothers, and then Reveal Folk, and a lot of good people. It's not Denmark, it's Sweden, sorry. So yeah, Luper Galia Records. It's a long night, it's a lot of talking, so there we go. No Future, this is the actual cover, I guess. The vinyl edition had the wraparound sleeve, which is very nicely done. All thousands of copies have been sold out, I think, black vinyl. And then there was this insert that had a lot of color schemes and versions. No Future, Uppsala. Sweden, not Denmark, of course. Getting a big pile. And then the last one for the first part of this full-length deluge is Brain Bombs with Die. This is pretty recent. I think I showed it in the last or the second to last video. Just Swedish, another Brain Bombs, another pair of brothers that do this fucked up, noisy rock. A bit of folk, I guess, a bit of everything, but this is, since it's on Riot Season, there is a bit more drive, there is a bit more aggression in here. The aggression was always in the lyrics maybe, or I don't know, it's hard to explain or to put my finger on it, but yeah. Midnight Slaughter, Afternoon Sun, Parents Bad, See You Cry, Cooking You, Long List, You Don't Belong, Killing Him. The full track list. This is the, I guess, first pressing of 500 on Red. And this is, they're still one of my absolute favorite bands, so that this is in here is not a shock. But there you go. Brain Bombs with Die. Yes, one last cut. We're listening to Peaceful's with Prisoners of Time. The Matruzebu was already done, and I was, going too fast. I was blasting through the record. So the absolute last part of the full length starts with Moonfall, Odes to the Ritual Hills. Hamia Folk, Go Prayer, and something Black Moon. Go Prayer of Black Baptism and Black Moon, Necromancer of Hades. Two Finnish guys that are everywhere these days. One guy is playing in Biarritz, the other guy is they're all over the place. Moonfall was a band that popped up when they started, then went into hiatus, and then now came back on Iron Bonnet with a full length it is considered a full length, or their first full length. It is an intro and outro and 2 longer tracks, 1560. If you look it up, history-wise, there's too much to get into, but I think the Reformation in England and stuff like that, so I don't know where they're going with that. Finland became part of Sweden, maybe it's that, I don't know. Countess Carity is from a lesbian vampire movie, so they're all over the place. I'm not even sure if 1560 is a reference to history. Music-wise, it is Finnish Baratrum, you know, that weird but very synth heavy, you know, that kind of thing. Finnish chainsaw music. Yeah, this spoke the Satanel, the last track, like I said, on Iron Bonnet. Here are the two guys in there, or in the band. There's some more satanic imagery, and this is the black vinyl version. I think there was a gold one, but I'm not sure, it's been too long. Yeah, Iron Bonnet's still a fabulous label, fabulous distro. The scope has been off them a little bit, but still great stuff. Then, here we go, Cordier Dongle with Autumnal Fortress. The first full length after a bunch of demos. This is once again on Medieval Prophecy Records, and that will show up once more. A 3-sided full length. Yeah, with, you know, American black metal. I talked about it in the previous or in the tape version. Just very good black metal. Bit of medieval, bit of synth interludes, bit of dungeon synth here and there. Yeah, set with the cover, very cool to see people still hand draw these covers. Came with a bunch, like I said, a 3-sided 12-inch big poster. These releases get maximized. Cordier Dongle, Necklace of Shadows, Root of Ichor, and Incubare. There we go. The track list. So yeah, a record that I had to get back to, or had to come back to a few times, just because it's a bit long. I think it's an hour 30, something around, a lot of tracks, so yeah, lots to get into, but yeah, love it. Then out of the left corner, or a weird record that came in, is the Moft Nachtheim split or collaboration. An older track that won the Moft, I think, is the older track that Nachtheim then landed vocals or, I don't know, lyrics for, and then vice versa. But once, yeah, one that kept me coming back to it all the time. It's just, I put it on, it's kind of that nature worship. It has the flyer for Entscheinung Halbe Euch in there, so it's from that world somewhere, it's from that sound. Yeah, if you can get your hands, it's all handmade, hand pasted. A very nice release, just like this. Bit of Sonic Youth influences here. Then Diabolical Full Moon with Desecrating the Sign of Christ on New Era and Medieval Prophecy. This is the Dutch edition, or the Nederlandse PGC. This is an EP by these guys, but I just threw it in because of the, you know, I talked about them every year, I think, when they released a full length or an EP or a demo. This could have been in the EP list as well, but I kept it tapes and 7 inches, so that's why this is in here. Yeah, the guy from the French band that I'm blanking on, the Spirit of War, and then Elitism, I think, lends vocals on this one, which gives it an extra dimension. I think it's not their strongest work, but I still think it's one of the better bands within the entire genre of, you know, Temple of Full Moon, Polish worship. So definitely looking forward to the next full length, or the yeah, whatever is next. Then this deserves a spot in here. This is Kukokest with, I don't know what it's called, because once again it's in Russian. I'm lucky to even pronounce the name half right, but yeah, it is. If you look at the cover, you kind of know where we're going with this. It's not a wild boar, but it's a wolf this time. So this is, everybody's saying Ildjarn worship, and to a point it is, but they give a twist to it. It is a bit more musical than Ildjarn, I would say. You can't just rip the Norwegians off. It's still one of the flagships of the entire Horrible Room scene, and yeah, it's another one of those stomping black metal punk records that deserves a lot of praise and a lot of shine. If you're into that sound, if that sound doesn't suit you, then yeah, this is definitely not for you. But yeah, if you are into the sound, this one was one of the purveyors of that thing, because there was a lot of, like I said, influences, like these days, the Yahwist was also very good. But, you know, a lot of variation, a lot of outgrowing, I think, the original sound, but some of the bands should keep it because it's their sound. Then, one that reminds me of holiday, this is Keres with Skyer of the Lighthouse. Yeah, one that was out already, that popped out just once, all of a sudden it was there, and it was the track Formation of Shackles, the fourth track on the A side that just drew me in and kept me in. This is on Vermines, Pestifera and Final Agony. This one is also on Final Agony's fourth release. I just remembered. But yeah, yes. They had a moment where I wasn't on board anymore, the Fire and Ice or something, where it was maybe a bit less, but I have to go back to that record. This one is very, very on top. This also came with a 7-inch, so it's quite the package. There's a lot of in there to unpack, so take my word for it. Yes. Then, after the Torture Palace, blanking on the name. After the 7-inch of the Vengericht, we have the first full length after the demo of Onyx Blades, the quintessence of the Shadow Sword. Yeah. If you know Torture Palace, they are doing that ancient, not per se looking back to Norwegian style, but just, trying to mimic the old ways, I guess, and really doing it to a T, or doing it very good. Definitely for a US black metal band or a US troupe. Cerebrus Einheri, I think, and Angel Destruction. This is limited to 250, and this is the second Torture Palace LP. Yeah, influences from all over the place, but the intro is like their battle cry or their banner war, so I kind of like this record. Haven't listened to it a bunch, but what I heard was very, very good. Sure, it's like Satanic War Master Star Guys, so Finland is not far away. Came with a poster and some extra goodies, order forms, sick logo, everything you want. It looks pretty old school, and then there's this classic looking poster. I mean, what more do you want from black metal, or for black metal in 2025? So yeah, a label to keep an eye on, Torture Palace. I think those two are the only things that they did. I think that I was under the impression Traum demo was also, or the second Traum tape was also, but nope, guys, that was 2024. Then, a label that crept up on me and that I hold near and dear is the Blood and Crescents. If you speak about Torture Palace in the sense that they are doing it right, I guess, if you're of the same mindset as me. In 2025, I think Blood and Crescent is also doing it right. I'm going to name these as one. That's maybe not fair of me, but the Theosophia, How Dark the Heavens, Coronation of Blood of the Innocents is the first one. And you have Arbor with In the Shadow of the Vanguard, second full length, and then the third full length is Dark Medieval Art by Fellwinter. All Taurus projects, all, like I said, under the banner of Blood and Crescent, but all still very different. I think the mark was set with once again, the compilation where, I don't know, where they all became a bit different. They were different from the start, but it became obvious what the goals were for him to, with all these bands. They all are maximized in the sense that they all come with sick ass posters. If I open up the Fellwinter, I will be here for another year. So that's how big it is. But yeah, incredible records. They get hate, they get love, mostly love. My hate is always from YouTube comments. I mean, if you see a hateful comment and you click through, you know where that's coming from. Arbor, In the Shadow of the Vanguards, the Flanger album. This one, Theosophia, was the interlude album, but very moody, very setting the tone for, yeah, I don't know for what, but for what is coming, I think. Not that this album is bad, but it seems like a prelude. Arbor, we had the Edelwachen tape. This one is, like I said, the one with the flanger, everybody knows. But it's, if you keep listening to it, if you listen to it one time, it's just a flanger album. If you listen to it more, it just, sometimes the flanger just hits on the perfect top of the riff, or the combination of the riff, and it just works perfectly. And then this one is just a very aggressive medieval, maybe my favorite of the bunch. So label of the year, think so. There's always the dirty taste or the aftertaste of the price of these records, but if you don't get them at first, they're impossible to find. I mean, I'm still looking for the first Gauntlet Ring, and it'll never happen probably. So yeah, they're made up for some. I never badmouthed them, but it's always the expensiveness of this record. Cheers. But in the end, I'm always glad to have them in the collection. Then back to home. Effroi with Eerie Passage, and now we are into label of the year. So we talked about that. We rounded that off. These are the, I guess, my records of the year. They're all, but you know what I'm saying. Here you go. Eerie Passage, Effroi. I was in contact with, I lost contact a bit with the bass player, I think. He sent me the early version of the CD and then some great shirts. Very looking forward to the vinyl version, once again on Medieval Prophecy. I can't always name them label of the year, so it has to go to somebody else once. But yeah, they're on top. Impurity, Ominous Winds, Ultimate Fights, Passage, The He, Rises, Battles in Desolate Regions, and Eerie 2. They have managed to make a very cohesive, great record with a lot of ups and downs. In the downs, I mean that in the most beautiful way possible. Still think female vocals here and there, I'm not sure. This is a very shadowy figure in my opinion, but yeah, just look at the artwork, it's incredible. Yeah, one of the Belgian black metal bands that really surprised me with their full-length Ancient Hounds collective. It's been a while since I talked about them, I'm realizing now, but yeah. Very cool. There you go. Effroi is Infâme, Décombre, Death Commander, Diable, and Amaniata, I think. There you go. The pictures are by Old Swings or G Swings, I'm not sure. Yeah. Incredible, just incredible. Love this record to death. It's been a while since I heard it. I was planning on spinning it again before this video, but that will be next. Then we have the Dracu Rehearsals. This is Into the Rotten Grave, or In the Rotten Grave, sorry, from Forbidden Temple. You know, this was going to be in here. Their latest full length, I guess. Once again, the Dutch edition on New Era, limited to 100 with the extra album. Yeah, the continuation of Medieval Prophecy and New Era reigns supreme. Ceremony of Damnation, Forest Abomination, Mephistopheles Nightmare, Into Baphomet, Corpse and Satanic Thunder, and My Tomb Will Be Ugly, which is a very, very good track. Forbidden Temple is Tenebrae, Agalia Rept, and keyboards by L. There you go. The Obi I showed, that classic living room picture. Record-wise, there's nothing too fancy. It's just a blood red, smoky black affair. But yeah, it's that sound. I love them since. I mean, I talked about when I held up the flyer and I saw them standing there when I put down the flyer. I loved them since that point. Yeah, they're a sound of their own. They lend here and there, but very, very, very cool record. Very good record. And then the two last ones for this year, Stangerriegel, of course, with Zastribornu Horror, something like that. Slovakian band, Malcarpathen, Prologue, That World. This is their second full length after an EP last year, also on Medieval Prophecy. But this one is, yeah, glorious. Like the Stanger, I think Stangerriegel was my album of the year last year. I think they deserve the same spot. It is as good. It is a bit more black metal, where Sagnariegel has the heavy metal element big with influences from black metal. This is the other way around. So this is black metal with influences from heavy metal coming in, but the focus is definitely on black metal. There's some mouth harp in there, there's some folk in there. It's less than on the previous one, but yeah, it's still there. Excellent record. This is on blue vinyl. The Dutch editions were the color versions, I guess, but get into it. I talked about this a few times in when it was coming out, when, you know, once again in the update, so this is deserved as one of the records of the year. And then, what is maybe my most listened to, most coveted, most expected, most anticipated in, I don't know, 10 years maybe? It's not as long as Funeral, but it is there. After the two demos and the compilations and the whatever you want, it's finally time to listen to the first full length by Necromantic Worship. They opted for a self-titled one, and yeah, it is what I expected, but more. It is the names Gurzarain, I think, Chandraputra, and Xarangot, something like that. Sorry, I'm butchering. But yeah, it is. The sound has always been necromancia, you know, that Greek, the Greek doomy sound, but it has an influence that is so Dutch that it hurts. There's this madness to it that the Greeks never had, I think. There's not this one, the Greeks, but there has to be something else than just copying the Greeks, just like Kukulcast with Iljarn. They do their twist on it, and it is not. It's a stupid thing to say, but it's a headphone record. You just listen to it with a headphone once in your life. There's a point where you can hear, I mean, the madness coming through his voice. I don't know where it is in which track, but yeah, it's they deliver. They really deliver. Sacrificial Carnage, the tempting of Erebos into the haunted crypt, the offering, and then site worship. Malicious Paradise, Ancient Lunar Mysteries, Nightmare Visions of the Nameless City, and Beroep Al-Khali. On New Era Productions and Nuclear War Now, of course. I have the regular of the tape, I have the test press. You know, if you are part of this channel, you know I love this band to death. This is the Purple Clear, I'm not sure, Smoky, 15100s, something like that. But yeah, if on the list, the GAM has played after the list. I think I have blanking on the EP. Oh, Knockin' is going to play, and I'm going to do something with this. We'll see how it works, but it's all here. It is that Greek, that Dutch madness influenced or infested. It has the samples. It has. Yeah, it's just one big orgy of black metal, doomish, ancient doomish black metal. So for this year, I don't think there was one that I was looking forward to more than Necromantic Worship. This is it. Close to home, Holland. Yeah, that's it. That is the full list for now. As it stands for 2005, album of the year, let's call it Necromantic Worship with their self-titles. That's it. I'm done. Cheers. Cheers to them. Cheers to New Era. Cheers to everybody who helped out. I keep saying it, but you know, the trades, the gifts, the talks, the interviews. It is just, it was a fun year actually. I hope that next year I will be able to top it. I don't know, interview-wise. I'm not going to, I mean, I said it before, the pace I've been doing this for the last, I don't know, 10 years maybe, has become a bit mental, or a bit of a damper on my mental state maybe. Need to focus more on music, but I always say that. It's every year it's the same, so we'll see. As long as you put out good music, or good music gets put out, I'll be finding a way to get it into my grubby little hands. Sickness be damned. That's it. 2025. Thank you to everybody who's watching. Thank you to everybody who supported, comments, whatever, you know. know what we do this for. This is pure underground worship, analog worship, and that is it's nothing more, nothing less. I don't expect anything, and I enjoy everything. Peace, not to the world, fuck the world, but peace to everybody who enjoys this stuff, and I'll see you in the new year. Happy New Year. It's the first. Let's hope to God it's an equally or a bit better than the previous years. But yeah, that is my end of the year want or wish or whatever. That's it. Thank you once again, and I'll see you ASAP. Bye.
He got some to where it belongs. Beware.